You wake because the fire is lower than it was. Beyond its orange edge, the night has swallowed everything. Your children are asleep beside you. There is no wall, no electric light, no locked door. Only a spear within reach and two pale eyes that may or may not have moved between the trees. Humans are poor night hunters. Our vision fades, our hearing guesses, and our bodies look almost politely unarmored beside a lion. Yet your ancestors slept through millions of dangerous nights. So how did humans survive hunters built for darkness when humans could barely see beyond the fire? The obvious answer is fire. It gives light, reveals movement, gathers people, and announces that this ground is occupied by animals capable of controlling flame. Evidence from Wonderwork Cave in South Africa places burning with human occupation about 1 million years ago. Later sites show repeated hearths, but those traces do not prove that every group could make fire whenever it wanted or keep it burning until morning. What did fire actually stop, and what danger could it create? Light, movement, smoke, and several awake humans can make a quiet meal look expensive. But fire is not a wall. Unfortunately, predators had not agreed to treat orange light as a legal boundary. Fuel runs down. Smoke irritates eyes. People near the glow see one another clearly while everything beyond it remains black. The flame may reveal an approaching animal and exactly where the sleeping humans are. That makes fire management more important than simply having fire. Someone has to add wood before the coals fade, keep bedding away from sparks, and avoid choking the camp with smoke. A modern comparative clue comes from Ju Hoansi observations in southern Africa. Some adults woke around the middle of the night, stoked a fire described as deterring predators, smoked, and talked briefly. That is not a preserved Stone Age custom, and it is not proof that fire prevented attacks. It shows a practical pattern that could solve several problems at once. Ordinary waking, social contact, and renewing a visible signal of occupation. Shelter added another layer. A cave mouth, rock wall, or chosen campsite can reduce possible approaches. Clear ground improves sightlines. Sleeping close together shortens the distance between alarm and response. But a cave was less a locked bedroom than a rental with extremely alarming previous tenants. At Texonoras Cave in Spain, archaeological layers preserve alternating visits by Neanderthals and carnivores. Humans tended toward the entrance. Bears, hyenas, and other carnivores favored the interior. They were not roommates on the same evening. The point is harsher. Shelter attractive to humans was often attractive to predators too. So location had to be judged and sometimes abandoned. A protected back wall could eliminate one approach. A deep chamber could also become a trap. The best campsite was not simply the most enclosed one. It was where a group could detect trouble early, wake quickly, and move together. Who stayed awake while everyone else slept? The dramatic answer would be a lone guard staring into darkness. Real group sleep may have been messier and more effective. In one modern study, researchers monitored 33 Hadza adults across 20 days. Because people slept at different times, someone was scored awake or lightly asleep during almost every measured interval. The study did not record predator attacks, and wrist movement cannot perfectly separate wakefulness from light sleep. It still shows how near continuous awareness can emerge without a formal roster. Age, temperature, discomfort, children, dying coals, and different sleep rhythms break up the night. One sleeper shifts, another hears it. Someone checks the fire. Prehistory probably involved fewer heroic guard rotations and more people waking because someone stepped on them. The advantage is not that one person never sleeps. It is that a mixed group is less likely to become completely unaware at once. An alarm also scales. One person sees movement, but several people can sit up, lift weapons, pull children inward, feed the flame, and make a sudden wall of faces and noise. Studies of wild baboons show how disturbance can synchronize waking across nearby animals rather than leaving one permanent sentinel. Baboons are not humans, but the principle is simple. Danger detected by one nervous system can spread through a group faster than the danger itself. Could talking, singing, or simply sounding awake really make a predator hesitate? Firelight was social time in documented Zhu Huanzi camps. Polly Wiesner recorded nights with stories, conversation, and sometimes singing or dancing. Those observations belong to living people with their own history, not an untouched prehistoric past. They show what an active human camp can sound like. Subtle, it was not. Modern experiments add a separate clue. At South African waterholes, recordings of ordinary human speech made many mammals flee more readily than recordings of lions. Leopards and hyenas responded strongly. That does not mean a bedtime story was ancient predator repellent. These animals live in a world where humans have been intensely dangerous for generations. A hungry or habituated predator may respond differently. Still, voices, movement, and coordinated noise can advertise what a silent flame cannot. The group is awake. The answer, then, is conditional. Sound could make some predators hesitate because approaching alert humans carried risk. It could also reveal a camp's position. Fire and noise worked best as honest signals backed by bodies, weapons, and a rapid response, not as theater performed by one exhausted person. What happened when a predator learned the camp's routine? Carnivores are not machines. Modern hyenas alter their timing and movement around human activity. Leopards can move close to settlements under darkness without attacking every person. Even modern deterrent lights can shift lion attacks elsewhere instead of eliminating them. The trouble with a perfect routine is that it also becomes perfect information. A surviving group could not depend on one unchanging trick. It could avoid dense cover, move after signs of carnivore use, keep sightlines open, vary sleeping places, and keep weapons close. These are reasonable inferences, not a prehistoric manual recovered from the ground. The stronger evidence is that humans possess the tools and cooperation to make a predator's calculation dangerous. Wooden spears from Schöningen show formidable weapon technology around 200,000 years ago under revised dating. A cave lion skeleton from Siegsdorf bears a puncture interpreted as a fatal Neanderthal spear, thrust roughly 48,000 years ago. Neither find records nighttime defense. Together they establish the reversal. Some large predators faced humans capable of killing them. At that point, the menu had acquired spears. This is what happened when a predator learned the routine. The routine changed, and the response remained collective. Fire raised the cost of approaching. Campsite choice reduced surprise. Overlapping wakefulness shortened the blind interval. Voices announced alertness. Spears made it credible. If one layer failed, the others bought seconds, and seconds could wake a camp. Ancient nights never became safe. Some groups lacked reliable fire. Some shelters hid carnivores too. Some alarms came too late. Archaeology preserves capabilities, not a guarantee. But it preserves a distinctly human defense. An individual could sleep because vulnerability was distributed across many eyes, waking moments, and hands. That is how humans survived hunters built for darkness. Not by conquering the night with one invention, but by making every approach a problem shared by the whole group. The night never became safe. Humans became the animal that refused to face it alone.
Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe.